Hello, folks. I'm the Red Red. This is Hollywood Animal. And last we left off, we had the unfortunate incident of finding out that, well, I had the unfortunate incident finding out that my whole plan of how to go about gaming the system with regard to creating our trash empire was doomed to failure from the start. We can't just produce a bunch of movies in a row and then rush them all out rush them all out at once. All my words are trying to rush out all at once. We can't do that. Instead, we have to create them one after the other, written one after the other, and then produced, and then released. So so that's what we're gonna have to do. There's no other ways about it. This Arise from the Sludge, I think, is going to be, when it comes out, we're not going to rush it, because the movie before this is not going to be one of the 6 released in the year. The other movies are going to play off this, but this one's going to be its own thing. It's not going to be its own thing. It's going to still be part of the series. It's not going to be one of the 6. Police are raiding us again. We can pay off loans early now. Let's do $2 million loan. If we need loans, a couple million seems more appropriate for the amount of money we would need. Although I'm hoping not to drop down into that amount to need a loan again. I'd rather just keep our pockets stuffed with cash. Yes, thank you. Go away. Town with no name. You're through 12 weeks. You're 10%. That's 100. I'm gonna end distribution on this. And just send you to the archive. Dewey Sanders, you are one of our producers. If I said take 3 years, I think you were an 8-star. So you're asking an appropriate amount of money for 3 years? Yeah. Jasper Henry, you're one of the directors. I didn't catch how many stars you were. Although, you're going to ask for next to nothing. If I offered you a car and a hotel suite, even that's too much. Car and a housemaid? You know what? Get some medical insurance. You need that more than a housemaid. You're asking for 35. I don't care how many stars you are. You're asking for... Did I up that to 3 years? Jasper, you're how... I'm sorry, what? You're almost perfect? And that was 3 years? Okay. You know what? I'm not gonna argue. I'm not gonna force you to take more money. Alma, I think your portrait has changed. You've had an age up in your portrait. You're gonna ask not that much. You're not the best actor, so it makes sense. The Heartless and the Hero. So this was the first movie. Bonus policy, Trash King. Yeah, you're half of 18 is, well, let's just say you guys get the trash movies just need 10,000 for their screenings. 20 8% of 12 is 2,400. Let's call it 2,500. I think I'm doing the math right, but I just had this sinking sensation that I'm not. You'll take the extra 2,000 there. Confirm. We can't do another Bob Gray movie because the mob doesn't want us to, because yeah, so we can't do this. Bob Gray, you weren't in this one. Archie Beagle. Let's prep this for release. We spent 1.1 already on it. Oh, the number there was after post-production. The number on this here. That's interesting. Archie Beagle. Dramatic sci-fi. What's the ending of this? Does this movie not have like a substantial ending? Weird. In any case, where it's a dejected idealist on a tropical island, there's a criminal mastermind. I'll go with this one. That poster looks the most appropriate to me. The week after Christmas. Yeah. 18. You are 8 stars, so I'm going to give you the extra 2,000 screens to bring you up to an even 20. 16, 14, and 12. Irvine, why don't you print it just in time? And we start ads early. We run them through Valentine's Day. You are advertising, you want to be advertised to young men, not to girls. So, I mean, this is a Y, right? It's a Y, an A, and a T. So when you say girls, you mean teenage girls, teenage boys, right? In any case, so this is like 18. Young is like mid-30s, and then adult is 35 and up. Is that normally the break points? In any case, not to children. Let's go on the radio because adults are all here, and this is intelligent young people. Maybe I should instead go newspapers instead of the radio. This is the 30s. Young people might be more inclined to be... who would read the newspapers and who would... Oh, I mean, this says middle-aged and older people, avidly familiar voices. While this is... I mean, this is like everyone, right? Do I go Pierre Zola instead? Yeah, you know what? That's what we'll do. Confirm this. And let's tick time along. It Lurks in Darkness. This is a sequel to It Lurks in Shadows. Eight stars across the board. Cinematographer wasn't the best on it, but it's still a good production. Maylo's contract has expired. She wants reasonable, very reasonable. She's not a superstar or anything, but she's a great character actor, right? She's a 10-star skill. Something you didn't know about Charlie. This is a 7-star movie. No one gained anything off of it. Start post. You know what? Emma, you work on this. I don't think you two are going to mess this up so much, and I would like to have a skilled secondary team. Finding Your Man. This was a horror movie, right? Detective horror? This was a one we wrote, right? Security. I don't know. I was looking for this tab over here, but I forgot you have to click it open for a hot second. What camisole? I guess we punched up the writing a little bit in it, but I don't know if it's the project that we're going to start, although we should start a project. It's strange how we get like these just back and forth. Oh, a Heart on Fire. You're a sequel to something. Actually, let's start you then. Yeah. Chester, if you really want to remain the cinematographer of this series, I mean, if we're putting it all on soundstage, why am I giving you a... I mean, if we're putting it all on location, if we're filming it all on location, why am I giving you a soundstage? I don't. I mean, unless I want to cut down Wild West Town. And then the mountains. Wild West Town is still literally the thing that's taking the longest. Okay. You can take a couple of things. No. Chester Henry, your contract's gonna run out soon. Why don't we give this to someone else? Someone who... I mean, this is a 7-8 star. But it's... Thomas, you can handle this, right? Filming tech and sound tech. All of that will remain the same. I keep seeing this number change when I flick through things. And I keep thinking it's the day changing. I'm like, wait, hold on. That doesn't sound right. That doesn't. We shouldn't be having things like that change. Okay, Oscar Morris is the bandit. We want the cowboy and the sidekick, which is Pete Hodges and Lydia Globe, right? So, actually, I think I can click on them from here. What are you doing right now? Are you not doing anything? Pete Hodges. Oh, because time had run out. Lydia Globe. Oh, she's busy with It Lurks in Darkness. So I'm gonna say let's cancel this as a project. We want to avoid Pete and Oscar. This is a weird one. Wife's permission. Sure. Well, Thomas, you'll get this one. Soundstage. Put the entire thing on location, except for the biggest ones, which the battlefield. Other than that, country lanes. Town streets. Yeah. A couple of the big locations. The prison will be filmed. We'll find an actual prison to film in. I mean, why would you find an actual prison to film in? We're gonna do that. Might as well cut that all down. Sure. Filming tech. The Hess Pros, we're still not using the Blue Iris. Our team's working on fine-tuning it, but they're gonna take like another part of a year. I don't know exactly how much off the top of my head. Producer, Dewey, we just rehired you. Take Vincent with you. Director. Ernest? Why don't you do it? Our dejected idealist. Let's go. Alfred, why don't you take it? And then our square enforcer. I want to give the role to Alma. Let's make this an artistic movie. You're both it's a dramedy. Dramatic comedy. Seems good to have some real artistic actors on the roles. And let's pick things along. Condemned to Adventure. And go ahead and premiere here. Bone Grinder. It's a scam, as always. Drama that's easy enough to sit through, but difficult to feel. You can watch it, but you're better off figuring out something more interesting. Not the worst we've gotten reviewed. The Kingdom Mark's a little down. Commenter was talking about the Kingdom Mark. I am aware that the Kingdom Mark is how well you've applied it to your audience, how well you've brought in the correct audiences. While the reviews are how well, is being reviewed. And is probably the biggest indicator of... Oh, almost missed that. Of the actor is refusing to wear the tight pants his character wore in the previous film. He says he's tired of looking like a plucked rooster. I'll talk to him. Here's 8K. Wear the pants. I want to go Once Upon a Death. This was something we wrote, but it wasn't a sequel, right? Oh, Vincenzo. Mayor, you're, not highly skilled. Not once you're capped out, unfortunate. It's a hopeless romantic, woman-led, it's a romance comedy. We'll go with this one. And, I mean, romance may not have been the biggest aspect, but it's still a very significant aspect of this movie. 16, 14, and 12. Same as always. Irvine, you print it. We could fit something else in here. Let's start ahead of time. I'm going to say, you know what? Let's go Velvet Gloss. Let's go older audiences, working, and then newspapers. It's a romantic comedy, right? Like, even if you're not saying it's focused for women, it's woman-led, it's a romantic comedy. I mean, it's mostly comedy, right? If I'm remembering correctly, the numbers aren't holding up when I'm... Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'll let us run through. During negotiations, you're able to cover up to 50% of the requests using gifts and whatnot. Okay. Influential producer. 3 producers. I'm gonna say influential. Wow, this is gonna be years before this comes out anyways. Okay. Whatever. You're 8 weeks into distribution. 36% of 2,000. Let's call that 200, 6, 7, 800. Set up distribution. 8. Sorry, that's 800. And Milton... Okay, you can finish this. Milton, what kind of writer? You're a bad writer, right? You're our sci-fi writer, but you're just not a good writer. Take this one. Charlie, you're an actor. Your contract is expired. We're gonna give you another 3 years. Easy enough, yeah. It lurks in the shadows. Herbert, lead actor, is refusing to smoke on camera. He said it's bad for his potency. Producer says it's a problem since the audience is used to seeing this character with a cigarette in his mouth. I'll pay you to smoke. Pay you 12K. Smoked for the film. The script department, writers write even faster. And we are just going to hard push this. For the sake of our trash. Which reminds me, we're not holding a banquet. We've got to hold more banquets. We still got to do the banquet dance. Because I'm going to try to use some of our influence to get us some nominations. Push through as top films. Because, I mean, it's the game. It's the bribe game. That's how you win these awards, is you offer the biggest bribes. No one denies that. No one who's, you know, genuine. I'm gonna let some of these movies move along before... Felix, you're actually one of our good writers. Well, not so much anymore. We hired people that are better than you, but you've been with us. You've been with us for a long time. You're a romance writer. Let me go. I'll give you the Modern American City one. That's a good place for you to start writing from. Wife's permission here. It can start production too. And it can take Homer. Henry. What kind of... I don't know why that keeps just disappearing as soon as I click on it. This game, it feels like every time I open it, it's doing something just slightly different. Historical romance, well, okay. Romances don't work in the Wild West, and we have a hopeless romantic on the American Civil War here. I think that Civil War is generally a lot of romance. Stories come out of it, romanticizing that history. Downplaying the effects. 12. Okay, 12. 1/3 of 12 is 4, so 4,000. Set up distribution. That's unmovable. We'll go 4,000 there. We'll go 4,000 there. We'll go 4,000 there. And I'll give you 3,000 on this day. And then Edward Conway and Archie Beagle. A at the Kino mark. A movie doomed to oblivion by Exquisite Cinematique. Not perfect, but very good. 4 stars. A dream that feels like it happened to your friends. Maybe that's what we need in a movie these days. Vanity Project. And then The Bone Grinder. Marvin Lang, you're leveling up here. Our head of production. Anyone else level up? No. Jay Perry. This was this was a script we bought, isn't it? $2 million total. Made Rivals a little stale. Bruce Lambert. Your contract has expired. But $250,000, yeah, easy. And Jack Murray, the other producer, I'm assuming. I'm assuming you were both producers on that movie. Based on you both, your contracts being up at the same time. And your report. Tax amount, we owe $2 million, which is, it's nothing. Of course we pay our taxes. We want to help the American people, right? That's how you do it. If you're unintentionally yes, we are going to win a Pollux. Multiple Polluxes. We are going to, well, I think it's impossible to actually sweep them with one movie. You could sweep them as a studio, and I know there's a achievement for doing some kind of sweep, but let me make sure I have these committed to well, actually, I found that we didn't. But Cast a Spell on Me. This was an original movie. Romantic comedy. This has to be one that we wrote, right? Got a bunch of good ratings. A Heart Return. This was a sequel. The third in the trilogy is in production. No, it's actually sitting in pre-production, waiting for Lydia Globe to be finished, right? Filming something else. A Town with No Name. This was another one-off. Science fiction horror. More science fiction than horror. This is gonna have to get a sequel now. It only got a B at the Kino mark. And then Starcrossed Lancet. Wait, hold on. Wasn't that from last year? The Amber Heart, which is the other romantic Wild West. Ooh, this is a little funny. Night in a Trap. What studio was this from? Evergreen? Bobby played a vampire in this. We've got multiple 5-star reviews. Yeah, so it's going to get something. Fan favorites. Okay, so yeah, someone was talking about, or multiple people have been talking about in the comments what, different things mean. So this is box office success. This is just raw money. How much money did it rake in? Critical acclaim. This is stars, your star rating. This is the thing that really should influence your chance to get awards, but it's not really, perhaps really help there, but it's influenced. So I'm looking at this and it says rankings are influenced by the film's artistic ranking. Our artistic ranking here is higher than Night in a Trap, and we didn't get nearly. We get the Bone Grinder. Bone Grinder loved this one for some reason. I guess that's how do you appeal? You appeal to the Bone Grinder by being different, by being out there, right? And then, yeah, the Bone Grinder. So it's because the Bone Grinder loved those ones that it really, and it hated ours, that it really pushed it up. So, okay. I mean, that's what I could do about that. Well, I mean, maybe there's things I could do about that, but not. And this is fan favorites. This is a Kino mark, which is, it's not so much purely whether or not your movie is this stat here, this number is, it's a starting point, but it's also who did you advertise your movie to is the Kino mark rating. And this, I mean, this was well advertised. I think we can, I don't know if this was one of the ones where we ran the numbers on, or if it came out before we could. Yeah, analytics here. We can see young women was the target audience. We put it to Velvet Floss. Actually, the radio and the billboards are turned off. The press, like they're grayed out. So were those wrong places to run this? And it should have been the press and Velvet Gloss and maybe some other things? Maybe literally just the press and Velvet Gloss. I don't know. I also really don't like this, the repetition of that sound there. That is actually genuinely bugs me. I hope it doesn't bother you as much as it bothers me. Okay, Joanne, she has established what she is. Damsel in distress, femme fatale, daring adventurer, romance, drama, historical. She's also aged. Her portrait. You want... Yeah, we're gonna rehire all of you guys. Yep. No need to even think about it. You're at 16% of 800, which... I mean, I can go... Maybe we should have kept that advertising campaign. Well, how much would the advertising campaign have cost us? A lot, right? Whatever. And distribution. And you know what? I do want performance analytics on this. Arise from the sludge. So... who... Okay. I'm gonna shelve this for just a second. And what I'm gonna check is our release films, Hero and the Heartless, or Heartless and the Hero. Pete Hodges was also in this, in addition to what was the other one? We were A Heart Returned, right? Yeah. Okay, so Pete, you're gonna hold up this entire thing. Or maybe we don't care about continuity so much. I only got a B on the Kano mark here. I don't know, maybe we could have done better advertising. Okay. Let us go. And I don't know why I'm looking at this. This is not where we go. We go here. Cinematographer. Harry, you take this. Okay, our longest thing is city streets, which I'm not gonna slow down for, because I'm not planning on this being one of the 6 that are released in rapid sequence. Filming tech, we're gonna take the Hespro, we're gonna take frame tone, put people on it. Okay, for our Toxic Revenger, we want... I mean, these are... So, Edward Peterson, you are in production. Joanne Spencer. Oh, I saw the little mark here. I was like, what? But no, it just means that it would not be acceptable if that came out today. You're also supporting Hazel Rice, It Lurks. So, honestly, I'm gonna dump this for a hot second. And we're gonna wait until some of these movies come out of production. We're also going to say put something else. Drama. I'm gonna go with something you don't know about Charlie. We're gonna put something else on the slate to be released. And this was an American Civil War drama. It was women drama. Let's don't run it directly against anything. 18,000. I could probably shore these numbers down to more appropriate levels, but we're still making money, and that's, as long as that happens, I don't really care if we're running largely empty theaters. We're losing out some level of efficiency that we could get from renting out those theaters. Okay, men, young men, work, older audiences, and newspapers. That should get an A at the Kino mark. You want to raise? Yeah, easy. Banquet done, which means we hold a banquet. Yeah, we get this spike here. I'm willing to bet that this was like a week where we couldn't get a lot of things. Advertising looks like we were successful advertising everywhere. In particular, older audiences retained on that first week, it seems like, while children did not. Actually, young men also retained a similar amount to older audiences. Okay, I can't take that sound. I can't take the repetition. So again, they're trying to screw us. Although, we're actually coming here at the end of the voting cycle, so that should be fine. Audience quarter of 12 is 3,000. 3,000, 3,000, 3,000, and then that's the 2,000 no rentals. Your 5% of 4,000 is 200. Um, $19.39 Pollux. Definitely cast a spell on me. And I'm going to push for it to get best film. The other ones were... I know we had some other greats. Town with No Name got third commercially. Silver Coins was fourth. Love. Okay, the Amber Heart was another contender. And then Town with No Name, third commercial is a little meh. I'll go with Silver Coins. Okay, best cinematography. Hold on, I want to check. So these numbers are not yet applied up here. That's the thing I need to know. Best cinematography. Again, cast a spell on me. Actually, let me just... cast a spell on me was women-led. And Amber Heart's gonna be on that list too. And then best director. And then best screenplay. Screenplay is actually fairly easy because we can go Amber Heart and this doesn't distinguish 7 to 8 elements. I'm gonna go Archie Beagle. Did it get an A at the Kino mark? This is fourth. I'm gonna say Archie Beagle, the best screenplay. Best director, Amber Heart gets another shot at that, and then I'm gonna say Silver Coins. Best actress is filled up. Silver Coins is gonna be one of these. Archie is gonna be another. And then A Town with No Name did extremely well commercially. led by Oscar, versus Shards of the Sword, led by Elbert. Both are 8 stars. Let's go this way. Best cinematography, Amber Heart, and silver coins. We're pushing for best film for Cast a Spell on Me. Cinematographers. Jasper, you're an 8 star. Homer, you're an 8 star. Homer's also doing this one. Best actor. Best actress, I do wanna push. Patsy was the lead in both of these? No, Joanne was the lead here. You have never gotten an award. You've been nominated, right? I don't know. Best director. Who's the director? Will Doyle. Felix wrote the screenplay. All of these. Who's the director here? Herman, 8.6. I'm gonna push for best. Okay, that's 15. We're going to make some influence back when we get the nominations, and we're going to get some nominations. This doesn't, and the money is not a worry for me. So yeah, I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna have a number of things run up here right at the same time. Limit the number of security agents. Let's see how everyone votes. You abstained. I'm gonna guess you're gonna give 300, which I'm gonna give 650 down. Let's call it 750, just to be safe. Yeah, I could have gone 650. I don't like the idea of us having limited security. So yeah, here we are. 2 of our films got Best Film, or nominated for Best Film. Jasper, Day, and Homer each got nominated for Best Cinematography. We got 2 votes, 2 nominations for Best Actor, couple for Best Actress. Will Doyle's got another nomination for Best Director, although he's earned 1, so, you know, you've gotten your 1. You've gotten the 1 that you deserved. We are going to get Best Screenplay one way or another, although J. Perry doesn't actually work for us. This was just whatever. Doesn't matter. Patsy's established as an adventurer, and we will attend, but we'll attend next time. I'm gonna let these run through so that we can get a clean shot at producing our sequel. I'm wondering whether or not I should produce the sequel we have, the quality sequel we have set up first, and then come back to the trash. I think that's what I'll do. And then I'm gonna have to start paying some real attention to who's who's doing what roles, if I really want to roll them out in a way that is clean. I will also need to keep a writer, because we want our writers to, we want to tick over the writers being faster anyways, as part of producing the trash movies just so rapidly, the sequels so rapidly. We want to make that Toxic Revenger series, that octology. So that's gonna take a while. That's gonna be we probably will just have to keep pushing and pushing and pushing until we get lucky and everything really lines up. And we might have to really just say, screw it, let's recast some roles willy-nilly. But whatever happens is what happens, and we will do it. It just may take a while. But as I said, consideration for next time. If you've enjoyed this Let's Play so far, go ahead and leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you next time, where we will continue playing Hollywood Animal.